Following a News Channel 5 investigation, Tennessee's top cop faced questions today on Capitol Hill about his hiring practices, but the director of the TBI urged lawmakers to be careful about forcing him to give preference to veterans who've served their country. Our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams was there. Phil.
Well, Vicki, these are just two of the young men who had the right connections to get hired as special agents, beating out veterans with more law enforcement experience. Ironically, TBI Director Mark Gwynn said if lawmakers force him to give veterans the edge, it just might hurt his diversity efforts.
I don't mind giving them all the preference that you tell me to.
Appearing before the committees that control his agency's future, TBI Director Mark Gwynn chose his words carefully. At his side, his Deputy Director Jason Locke. Last year, Locke's son, a recent college graduate with no experience, beat out 1,000 other candidates to become a TBI special agent.
If he had not been the Deputy Director's son, would he have been hired?
I can't answer that.
At the time, Gwynn defended his decision to pass over veterans with real law enforcement experience, saying he believed that a state law that says veterans will be given preference was actually designed to be read as may be given preference.
I don't believe there was ever any intent to force any agency head to hire anybody.
State Senator Mark Pody was blunt in his assessment of the director's attitude.
When I vote on something like that and it says that they shall, I'm telling you, we're voting saying that we shall give them preference for hiring.
But Senator Mike Bell stopped just short of criticizing the state's top cop.
I believe the language of the statute that was passed probably gives the Bureau the gray area not to carry out what I think everybody up here clearly thought was the intent of what we passed.
TBI is more diverse now than it's ever been, but that's been the hardest challenge that I've had.
Gwynn argued that such a strict mandate might hurt the Bureau's diversity efforts. But in 2016, Gwynn hired the stepson of one of his assistant directors, again with no experience. Among the veterans passed over, a highly regarded African-American state trooper who had been strongly recommended by TBI interviewers, and a female police officer who interviewers called a great candidate.
There could be some unintended consequences, but that's fine. If you mandate that, Senator, I'll be glad. Absolutely glad to do that. I would never shun a veteran, never.
Now, none of the committee members seemed aware of the veterans who had been passed over, and no one questioned whether it's proper for the deputy director to be supervising his own son. If you want to see everything that we discovered, just go to newschannel5.com to see the stories for yourself. Vicki?
All right. Thanks, Bill.